about seed plants. These are plants that actually do produce seeds, right? Remember, the previous plants do not produce seeds. These plants, they do produce seeds. So some of these plants, they have flowers, and some of them, they do not have flowers, right? But how do seed plants reproduce, right? So the seed plant produces male and female gametes. So this over here shows a flower, right? So within this flower, there's a male portion and there's a female portion. So the male portion, right, is the male portion is the stamen, and then the female portion is the pistil, right? So let's take a look at this picture as well, right? You have the male portion over here, that's the stamen, which is composed of the anther at the top and the filament, right? Together, they're the stamen. So this is the male portion because it produces pollen, right? So the pollen is released over here, right? Maybe like an insect or just the wind takes the pollen, and the pollen floats across and attaches itself to the female portion. This is called the pistil. Now what happens here, the pollen, right, forms these pollen tubes and moves down in the middle of the flower and eventually combines with the egg, which is the female gamete. So the male gamete is the pollen, and it combines with the female gamete, which is the egg. So remember, if we're talking about gametes, you need a male and a female cell to combine together to fertilize, right? This picture over here is showing the same thing. Right over here, we have the male portion over here. The anther produces pollen, right? So this is a pollen grain. So the pollen grain is very, very tiny. You have to use a microscope to see it. And it floats across and attaches right over here. It forms these pollen tubes and sends the male gamete down to attach to an egg. When that becomes fertilized, when they combine together, the two gametes combine together. Remember, gametes, two have to combine together. With a spore, you only need one. But here we have gametes, male and female. They have to combine together first, and eventually they form a seed. This entire process is called pollination in plants. Pollination is when the pollen from the male portion goes to the female portion and fertilizes the egg. So remember, fertilization is when the male and the female gamete join together.